Everyone. Sorry about the wind sounds again, it's increasing. Anyways, so today's workshop is WordPress based, as you all know. So your expectations might be that you're going to build a fully functional website that's responsive and that looks exactly like how it is here. But basically, the main goal of the workshop is to give you a clear understanding of the usage and setup of a WordPress site, and give you the main idea on how to start your own website and what you need in the process of building it. So what you need to start a WordPress website are four things: a hosting provider, domain name, SSL certificate, which is optional but recommended, and WordPress installation. So I'm not going to go in details about the hosting provider and domain name and all the mentioned, but I'm just going to give you a brief idea on what are they exactly. So a hosting provider is similar to this picture that you see here. It's like a storage room, similar to a house, a storage area where all your website files are stored. It's like you're allocating space on the server. The server is like the internet for your website to be available for everyone. I would recommend two different hosting providers, mainly Pagery. It's a hosting provider, and SiteGround. I won't go in details about them, but I'm going to give you my slides as like after you fill in the certificate. Sheikha, I'm not sure. Did you mention about the certificate?
Yep, I did at the beginning.
Okay.
I'm gonna send them later on.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you the resources and everything. So a domain name is basically the address of your website. You see here, Google Docs. This is like a domain name, the address of your website. The internet is like a network of computers that communicate with each other, right? So each computer has its own IP address. An IP address looks something similar to this, which is really, really difficult to remember if you have like a lot of websites. So a domain name helps you remember it. It's like, let's say, WordPress.com. WordPress is a domain name. And we'll move on to SSL. Okay, so SSL is like, how do I say it? It's security. It's all about security. The full form of it is like secure sockets layer. Sockets means a two-way communication, where you communicate with the server, and the data that you send on the server are not secure. So this enables the security. So I can show you, for example, here. If you see the website here, it's saying that your connection to this site is not secure. That means in this website, the certificate is not added. So that's why it's showing not secure. Once you add the SSL security, it will show that this will not show, and plus the URL, it will begin with HTTPS and not HTTP. This is really important, especially if you're dealing with payments on your website and so on. So SSL certificates can be provided for free by your hosting provider. You can look more into it. What I know is that SiteGround gives you a free 1-year SSL certificate. And then you need to link the SSL certificate with your website, with your WordPress website. And that I'll explain it a bit later when we reach to that point. And then you move on to the WordPress installation. Usually certain hosting providers, they give you the WordPress installation already installed. You don't really have to do it. Some require manual installation. So that depends on the hosting provider again. So far, do you have any questions? Okay, perfect. So now we're going to move to before you actually start building a WordPress website, from my experience, many people go to WordPress and they start building their website without actually having understanding of the very basic features in WordPress that are really handy and really effective if you know it before you actually even start. So the first thing is the dashboard. The dashboard, it depends on the hosting provider, and it's fully customizable. And this is how the dashboard looks like. The hosting that I got this hosting from is called Pagely. So this is how the dashboard of Pagely looks like. Usually it gives you an availability to remove certain things, but Pagely doesn't allow that. So you can just remove them like this. And the screen options is usually available on each page of your website. I guess it's available even in posts. This is really handy, especially if you're building a website to a client. Your client needs to have full, easy, friendly dashboard, because this is what actually she's going to use, not the actual website that she's going to build, that you're going to build for her. She needs a dashboard. She needs to have everything easy to add in, let's say blogs, easy to add in pages, easy to edit. So this is really important. And for each page, as I said, there is things that you can remove and things you can add. Okay, so second thing is the updates. The updates are usually all the necessary things that you install inside WordPress that needs updates. It's better to keep your website updated for many purposes: security purposes, performance, and even vulnerabilities of tools and plugins. That I'll explain a bit later. But usually you'll find updates here, and it's here. And again, so here it will appear everything that needs to be updated. Usually there are tools that you can install that will help keep your website updated automatically. So for your client, let's say you're not making, you don't have like a maintenance period with your client, and you want the plugins and themes in her website to be automatically updated. So you would use certain plugs and certain themes that are usually paid, but again, it will help the client move like faster, just a better website, if that makes sense. And yeah, so the next and most important thing is users. Users are usually like, let's say you have a website, and the user of the website needs to have different users and give accessibility to different users, like assign roles. Let's say you have e-commerce website, and you have different clients that want to put their products in your website. So you would give each a different access, right? That's what you will do inside users. And media is where you would upload your media files, like videos, files, images, so that they will be available in the website. Again, that's dependent on your hosting provider, as different hosting providers have different storage needs. This can be a bit hard if you have low storage and you want to upload all your files inside the website, inside the you want to have the space allocated inside WordPress website. That's a bit hard, but again, it can be tweakable, but it's preferable that you get a size depending on your needs. For example, if you're going to have a lot of images, if you're a designer and you're going to have a lot of images in the website, it's better that you have an idea of what you're going to build, and when you're selecting your plan and the hosting, you make sure you select as per your needs, so that you don't go above nor beyond. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes. Mohammed said that is it necessary to know HTML experiences? Know about coding?
It's good to have CSS. I would really recommend to have, as it will help you see, you can do everything with WordPress, even when you don't know HTML and you don't know CSS. But if you know CSS and you know HTML, it's a bonus for you because you can add and you can tweak certain things. I'm going to show you that later on today during the workshop, but it will help you do everything as per your needs, more faster, you could say. Any other questions? Okay, so we're going to continue. The menu. Let's. Okay, so for every website, there is a. Let me show you how this website looks like. This is the website. There's just really nothing in it. And as you can see, for each website, there is a menu on the top bar, right? So in order for you to create, like by default, any page or anything you add to your website is added to the menu by default. You didn't create your own menu, by default, it's going to be anything you add will be added to your menu. So it's preferable for every person building a website to have things more organized. So let's create a menu and set our menu to be primary for all the websites. And I'm going to get more into menu when we actually start creating things in the website. And now we'll move to widgets. Widgets are like you see here in the footer, there is a search bar. Actually, this website looks horrible because we literally didn't do anything. That's what you get once you have WordPress installed. Depending on the hosting provider, they will have different themes installed in it. This is like just the beginning. But later on, when you start to add things to it, you can customize it more. These are the things that I'm telling you for you to just have an overview and understand. Like later on, you will start adding different pages and these things will be there in the website. How can you remove them? That's important. You need to know certain things, which is why I'm getting into the boring details right now. So the search bar, for example, you can remove it. This is actually widgets. It's mainly the footer and the sidebar. Usually WordPress has a sidebar and a footer. Okay, so now we're getting a bit there. So WordPress has posts. Posts are like blog posts or any post types that you use and you categorize them. Let's say, for example, you have in your website, you want to start your own blog. And in your blog, you want to categorize each section and have it separately. Actually, posts are like dynamic things that you want your client or that you want to do it just once and have it be customized for several different pages. This is posts. Let me show you how to create your own post. Let's just give this a title 1 and let's and content. Let me just put content here. We're going to update this later. And I'll just create one more because I want to show you something. I apologize for the wind sounds. You can create categories. For example, let's say, okay, I already have it created here. Let's say you have a category psychology and then self-development and then technology. This is how you create it. You usually just put the name and slug and description and add new categories. Let's give our, okay, so by default, they're assigned to the first category that's created. Usually it's called uncategorized, but I changed it to be self-development. So all posts by default, they get one category. And here it's self-development. Let's change post to be technology and psychology. You can set several categories and you just update it. Okay. And yeah, adding post categories. Yeah, let me show you how to add it to the menu. Let's go to, and here you have under posts, you can add both of them to the menu. By default, the title will be the same title, the title that will appear in the menu will be the same title as you set it to the title of the post. But again, you can change it here to whatever you want. I'll show you this when we get into the theme, so that looks better than how it looks actually now. Okay, so pages are static. Pages is something other than posts. Posts are usually things that you want to do it once and have it appear several times. Static things are like contact us page, about us page, home page, your home page, or many other things that you want to have in your website, like gallery or any other thing that you want to have. Again, you can also add pages to your website. I'm gonna get more into pages and posts when we start adding the theme, because now it will look just boring. Okay, so this is really important. Plugins. What are plugins? Plugin, according to WP Beginner, is a piece of software containing a group of functions that can be added to a website. Okay, so example, mobile phone. Can someone explain to me, or just give me an idea, what do you understand by example mobile phone? Read the definition once, try to relate it to mobile phone, and give me what do you think this means? Why did I add a mobile phone here? And why did I add it under plugins? Posts are not pages. Posts are actually things that you want to do posts are things that you want, like, are dynamic. You just want to do it once and have it appear several times. And let's say you have blog posts. You don't want to go and design each blog to be different than the other. You just want to build the design once and use it several times. Pages are not that way. Pages are specifically are static. You add things in it dependent on your needs, like contact us page, you add a form, homepage, you add whatever you want in the homepage. Any idea regarding the question? Oh, okay. Plug is similar to apps. Plug in, okay. Any more ideas? What do you use mobile phone? Like, what's the thing that you actually use the most in a mobile phone? Applications, exactly. So you use applications. You see those applications, you can picture them as plugins, but not just really plugins, but lots of plugins. This is what plugin actually means. And by default, you have several plugins already installed to a WordPress website. Okay, so the default text editor that I showed you here, yeah, so the default text editor where you add things here is actually called Gutenberg, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a block editor. You can change that. You can even, let me show you. I really apologize for the wind sound. There's a plugin called Classic Editor that I personally would prefer to have it if I'm not going to use any يعني it's even better than the block editor that's already used. The block editor is this one, and if you see it has, I don't know what, يعني this number of installations, but if you see this, it has 5 million active installations. Yeah. So under plugins, to add new plugins, you can find the plugins here, and you can search for specific plugins depending on your needs. So now I have installed it, which is why it's telling me to activate it. So now it's activated, and then you can go to the settings just to make sure. Yeah, so the default editor is called Gutenberg, which is the block editor, the normal editor. But once you install it, it's set to default editor for all users. You select the classic editor, make sure this is selected, and then you just save the changes. I didn't change anything, so yeah. Okay. I have no idea where the slides went. Just give me a minute. I think I exited it. I really apologize for this. So do you have any questions? Shall I figure this out? I think we were here. Does anyone have any questions? Is everything clear? You use certain plugins for payment gateways. يعني for example, you know, My Fatura in Kuwait, they have each payment gateway has its own plugins that you can use. So for example, My Fatura, to use My Fatura, you need to have a WooCommerce plugin to access the payment gateway they provide. So each payment gateway you have has different plugins to use, if that makes sense. Knet, I think by default you already have it installed, but again, you need to have access by the bank in order to use it. It's a bit tricky to understand the payment things because it's hard to set it up. The easiest is, what's it called, if anyone can remind me, the online payment gateway. There's an online payment gateway. I forgot the name. I can't remember it. Yeah, PayPal, exactly. Yeah. It's the easiest thing to set up for WooCommerce websites. That's like accepted. But other payment gateways, like if you need My Fatura and such, each have their own payment providers and payment and plugins and all these things. They have their own documentation. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on. Yeah, so remember I told you about SSL certificates and how important they are. It's really, really, really important that when you get a hosting provider, first you make sure that you have the SSL certificate. You have it purchased, and the second thing is to do it in the beginning of your development, even before starting or adding any pages to your website, because that will, like, whenever you add anything to the gallery, there will be a link to each image. There will be a link to each file you install, and that file and image will be HTTP if you don't have the SSL certificate installed. Once you install the SSL certificate, it will be HTTPS. So then your entire website will start to crash. So you need to re-update each and everything, like specifically, especially if you don't have a good background of the usage of WordPress. At the beginning, this can be really, really messy. So you should have the SSL certificate purchased, and then you need to connect the SSL certificate to your website. You connect it using a plugin. Again, a plugin is like anything. You can use plugins for anything in a website, adding additional features, specific features. There are free and there are paid plugins. For example, we installed Classic Editor. That's a plugin. Now here, SSL certificate, it's called Really Simple SSL. It's really easy to install. You just go to plugins, add new, and then just type SSL. And then you install it. I don't have an SSL certificate for this, but I'm just going to show you what I mean. And in the process of setting it up, you just continue the process, which will show you. Now I can't set it up because I don't have, actually, if you have a certificate already, like you already purchased the certificate, this will directly be enabled because you have the certificate already installed in the website. Other important thing that I will show you is, wait, hold on. I think it was on, yeah, permalinks. So permalinks is like, let's say you create a page, right? You have the page, let's say your WordPress is wordpress.com/ let's say gallery. By default, it's going to be set to P equals an ID for each page or ID for each thing you have in the website, whether it's an image, whether it's a file, post, page, project, anything. So what I would prefer is to change it to post name. It's better for you to change it in the beginning. Yeah, you see here, it's also showing no SSL detected. That's because I have the SSL plugin installed, but I don't have an SSL certificate. So it's reminding me that I don't have it installed. So you should change sorry, I jumped from one thing to another. But again, it's better to set this in the beginning so that your website later on doesn't crash. It's really, really hard to get, if it starts crashing, it's really hard to get it back to where it was from the beginning, especially if you don't know PHP coding, because everything in WordPress is built under PHP. Sorry again for the wind. So yeah, save the changes. So now everything is changed to I created posts, which are actually going to crash because now I changed it to post name. Any questions? Will be used for the website we create, but once I'm working in other web page, it will be without plugin. What do you mean web page? Like, do you mean another website? Or do you mean another page inside the website? Because you can have several pages in a website. So okay, another page inside the website. Yeah, so a plugin is added to your entire website. So for the entire website, not just one page or one post. Anything you add to your website is global for the entire thing you do inside the website, whether it's a plugin or themes that we'll discuss later on. Any other questions? So it's better once you install, once you get the website from the hosting provider in the beginning, you install the SSL certificate again in the beginning using the plugin I mentioned, and everything, it will be for the entire website, not just for one page. But if you install it later on, your website will start to crash. So that's things that I personally learned by, I started building the WordPress websites without actually understanding the things that I'm explaining right now. So I struggled with trying to get things going. So these are the really important things that you should take into consideration while building, before even starting designing, because people usually get excited. We all do. We want to see the design, the look, without actually going through the process that actually requires understanding, like posts, pages, what are they? Any other questions? Is it clear? That depends on the hosting providers. What I know is that SiteGround has 3 SSL certificates, whereas what's it called? HostGator, I think it has 3 certificates, 3 SSL certificates only for 1 year. So that depends on the hosting provider. Actually, hosting provider is like a complete. You need to have a complete understanding of it, apart from your development, the entire website development. So what I usually prefer is SiteGround. Why? Because it's easy to understand when you're not a developer. Plus, the performance of a SiteGround website is really good. And plus, you can have WordPress pre-installed in your website. But see here, when you have a hosting provider, you're working on the server, directly on the server, not locally on your machine, not on your computer. You're building directly on the server. So that means everything you're building is already on the server. Yani, let's say you have a hosting provider for 1 year, right? And in that 1 year, let's say after the 1 year, like you're hosting for 1 year expired and you didn't renew it, you don't have the website installed. Everything will be gone. So you need to keep on backing up of your website. You need to back up from the hosting provider to your computer. You need to download all the code from your hosting provider to your computer. I actually lost a complete website that I built because of this small mistake. So this is really important to take into consideration. Always back up your WordPress website or build it locally, which again has its own disadvantages, because working locally gives you a lot of problems while adding plugins and things as such. Okay, perfect. Any other questions? Okay, so we move on. Permalinks, which I explained. Yeah, permalinks really take that into consideration. Okay, so now we're going to get into the other main feature of WordPress, which is themes. What do you think a theme is? A tool, according to WP Beginner, it's a tool to change the layout and design of your website. So it's a theme that changes your website completely. Let me just give you an example of a theme. So by default, I think, if I'm not mistaken, WordPress uses one of these. I'm not sure which one, but I think it's 2017 or 2016, depending on your hosting provider. By default, it's set to one theme. Now it's this theme. So let me activate another theme. So now 2017 is activated. And if I go to the posts that we created, you see the entire view of the post changed. Before, it was a bit different than how it looked right now. It was different. No. Yeah, I think here it was different, if I'm not mistaken. Even the format is added depending on this thing. Or they're similar because there's no much changes. Okay, so each theme has its own design patterns. I personally prefer to use a theme called Divi, which is paid, but I'm gonna give everyone access for 5 days um, just to like play with it because it's really interesting and you can do a lot just by this theme. Each theme comes with a zip file usually, if I'm not mistaken. Each theme has a zip file. There are free themes and there are paid themes. Each theme has a zip file that you install in your website. So I'm gonna now, for the continuation of the workshop, for the continuation of the workshop, I'm gonna just give you an idea of what Divi theme is and give you access for 5 days. And I'm gonna give you an API key, which is like a unique code for you to have access for it for 5 days. Sorry, I can't do more than that because I'm using it for clients, and the performance usually goes lower when many people are actually, traffic and all these things. So yeah, I think I'm going to send it to you with the resource files at the very end. Why I use Divi is because it has a really great community and quick responses from the team. So let's say you want to add a feature in your website that's really specific and you researched a lot and you can't actually get to it. For each Divi member, you can chat with the team and they can really help you and even suggest different plugins and such. And it's easy to understand. I'm going to show you that. It's really easy to understand. And it has ongoing updates and improvements, additional features, great documentation, really, really great documentation. A lot of YouTube videos that can help you with each and every specific thing inside this theme. Theme is like, how can I say it? See, when you're building a website using something, right? For WordPress, usually people, when you ask a person what is WordPress, they will tell you like drag and drop. Yeah, but actually WordPress is not drag and drop. For each theme, you need to have a complete understanding of the theme and a complete understanding of actually what the theme is giving you, or else you can crash your website or make it very specific that with every update that they do, your website crashes or you need to re-update and rechange. So choosing a theme is really important. Yeah, it's flexible in terms of responsiveness and the ability to exclude page sections, which I can show you when we start building. And you can create something and reuse it. So you remember I told you something about creating something in you can create something in posts and then reuse it just by re-adding pages. What Divi gives you, what I really like about it, is that you can create a page in one website and then export it to your computer and then import it to the other website that you're using. The design, let's say you created your own design and you want to use it for your other websites, you can do that with Divi theme. And I'll go more in details what I like about Divi when we start actually building. And for developers, Divi is actually great. You can customize anything you want with CSS based on your needs. And now we're going to start the Divi setup. Actually, this is the end of the slides because now actually we're just going to go into building. Now for each for each attendee that signs up for the certificate, I'm going to give you a zip file and the username and an API key that you will need. And you will need to upload the zip file into Themes, which I'm going to walk you through right now. Themes, you can find it under Appearance. Do you have any question before we start? API key is like a unique code. It's like, because I paid for the for Divi to have an access to it. So for them to make sure that I actually paid for it, because I can give you the zip file, or I can give any other person a zip file for them to use the Divi theme. But if they don't have the API key, they won't be able to use whatever Divi theme is giving. So an API key just ensures security and all these things. It's so technical term, actually, that I really don't want to get into right now. But you just have to understand that it's a unique, or like a key code for you. Yeah, activation key, exactly, Sheikha. Any other questions? Okay, so this is how you add a new theme. There are a lot of free themes, as you can see here. And يعني, I've tried a lot of themes that are really hard to understand, but they're good. I'm not saying that they're bad, but each has its own benefits and has its own disadvantages, you could say. يعني, maybe they're not being updated constantly. They're not adding new features. As you know, technology is like developing in a really what you can say, a fast way, or I'm not sure what to exactly say about it, but yeah, it's developing really quick. So anyways, this is how you upload your new theme. Just give me a minute. Okay, so you upload it here, and this is the zip file that I'm going to give you, and then you would install. Once you install something, you need to activate it, because I can install a lot of things on my website, but if I don't have it activated, it's not going to work. Make sure not to install a lot of things if you don't have much storage from your hosting provider, because especially if you have a lot of images that are installed but not being used. So I will activate it. So now I have the theme installed and it's activated. So now I can go to pages. What are pages? Does anyone remember what are pages? Pages are not posts. It's very important to understand the difference between pages, between posts, and if you're using Divi, the difference between posts, pages, and adding to it something called projects. Anyone to answer what are pages? Exactly, static content. Okay, so now let's create our own page. So before I installed Divi, I didn't show you, but actually if you try to create your page before adding Divi, you would see the similar editor, the classic editor that I showed you before. But now, as I installed Divi, so let's name our page home page. Okay, and then you'll see something here called use the Divi builder. Because I installed Divi, I'm gonna have this, so I can use the Divi builder. Now you see here, we didn't add any API key and we didn't add any username, but usually you would need to add it. Okay, start building. Okay, when you get Divi, you can either start something from scratch, build everything manually, or choose a pre-made layout, or clone another page that you already have existing in your website. So we're gonna start with choose a pre-made layout. Actually, this editor that I installed before installing Divi is bad, because usually you would have a full access to the complete page while building. I'm going to show you what I mean. So these are the different layouts that you can use that are already layouts for you to use and change according to your needs. Let me, for example, choose this one. And I'm going to use this layout. Any questions till this installs? Okay, so what I meant is that usually you have this thing as your complete page, but for now, for some reason, I don't like what I did here, so let me just publish and save. For some reason, this is not showing me the thing that I want to see. Wait 1 second. Yeah, so I clicked on let me show you what I did. I clicked on this, and this is the page that I installed. But if you see, you can see additional things in the page. By default, each page has a header and a footer, which is this one. You can remove it for all pages if you want by adding certain codes that I can show you in after a few minutes. Or you can eliminate that for specific pages. Let's say you want a page to not to have a menu. You want to show a different menu that you created in the page. And see, you remember I added post 1 and post 2 to the menus. They're added here by default. Okay, so if you enable Visual Builder, any questions?
Seham, I think like what you showed us right now, it's gonna be like more clear, like the difference between pages versus the posts. If you go back to the site, the WordPress site, just to show others, the post is like the tabs, right? If that's what it is, because I'm still not sure either. Like the post.
No, what do you mean?
No, the post 1 and post 2 at the top header are like at the tabs menu, right?
No. Menu is menu by itself. Wait. I can actually make that more clear. Let me show you something. So now I saved this one. Okay, I'm not going to go into details how to edit this for now. Let me go one step back.
All right. Yeah.
And let me go to menus. And let me add the home page to the menu. And let me save. And let me just remove these. I didn't save it. Okay, Adi. You see, I added homepage, and homepage is a page. Post is what? Post is a post. Post 2 is a post again. Homepage is a page. So this is a page, this is a post, this is a post. If I go and I create another post, it will be under posts, not pages. Pages are static. If that makes sense, Sheikha?
Yes, there's another question. Asma is saying its posts are inside pages.
Actually, you are free to do whatever you want with posts. You can add them inside pages. how can I say? Let's say you have blog posts, right? Okay, let me show you something inside the theme builder. So now this is a page, right? Ignore the menu. Now this is a page. Let's say I want to add a section, okay? And the section is a blog. See, now by default, all the blogs are added here. So now what I have a page, inside it, blogs, which is, I'm gonna call posts blogs. So I have blogs inside my post. And this is, again, you can customize and change everything here. But for now, I'm gonna forget about that. Just focus that I'm having a page. Inside it, I have posts. Posts are like small things inside the website.
So it's headed is saying, is it like a content?
It's content, exactly.
Perfect.
Content.
All right, that's clears things up. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Any other questions? Yes, you can remove that. I'm gonna show you. I'm not sure how much. Okay, can we have an additional 15 minutes if everyone is okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay, perfect. Yes, okay. So I'm gonna show you. Let me remove this one. Okay, so now when I click WordPress site, this is really important. I'm gonna try to focus more on the important things right now. When I click view site, what I see is by default the first thing I do, whether it's post or whether it's whatever I create at the beginning. How can I change this? By default, I want the website that I click on, let's say WordPress.com, to be what? How can I change this first page that will show to users? Remember, I told you something about side menu. This is the side menu, and you can customize it and you can even remove it. I'll show you how. So you can go to dashboard, and you need to go to reading. If I'm not mistaken, it's reading. Yeah. And then you can, so your latest post is set to be your homepage. And you need to change that to be whatever page you select. Let me select homepage and let me save. And then if I click view site, I'll see this. Now, how can I remove the header from only this page? I want to remove the header only from this page and not from any other page that I create. To do that, you go to the specific page, and here I think this doesn't, under page attributes, default, you set it to be blank page. But for now, I will not do that because I want to show you how to do it, how to remove the header, because actually inside Divi, you can customize and create your own header and footer and exclude the header and footer that you're using from WordPress, what WordPress is giving you. So usually what I do is I go and I write a small code and I remove the normal footer and the normal header that is shown in WordPress. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Under appearance, if you go to customize, this is where you customize certain things in your website. You remember here, it was written WordPress site, or I'm not sure what was written here exactly, but here is where you customize the general settings of your website. For example, you can change the logo if you want to put your own logo. It's better that you go in and see what it is exactly. But for now, I'm going to focus on additional settings. See, for any person, developer or non-developer, if you want to do certain things and you don't know CSS, I would right click and I would inspect. Everyone is everything clear until this point? Okay, so where I was. Okay, so for example, this is what happens to the menu bar when we when it's in the mobile screen. Yeah, and there's something I wanted to tell you about Divi. It's really responsive. Yeah, you see, all my content is responsive. This is how I can see it when I view on a mobile. Okay, so let's get back to where I was. Let's say I want to change this color, the color um, of this menu bar. What I would do personally is I would select, see what this is, see the class of it. This is the class, mobile underscore menu underscore bar, and it is set to something called before. And I don't know what that is. Yani, for example, you're not a developer. Just write if it's a class, if this is like, okay, let me show you something else. Let me try to, there are two footers usually in WordPress website. There is the secondary footer and the first footer. I will remove this footer. Okay. So what I would do, I went to it and it's an ID. So an ID, you would start it with, see when I select, okay, you would notice that there is, I don't want to go up, but if you notice on the blue text, it's hash. So you would write that hash here, and then you would write I didn't select it. You would write the name of the thing, which is footer, the name of the ID, footer dash widget, and then you would display none. So I removed the footer. And let's say when I do that and I don't have, let me publish this. Okay, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you something. Let me create a new page, okay, and name it gallery, for example. And I'm just going to publish. And I'm going to view. If, for example, you don't have the side menu here, if I go and I remove the side menu, this footer will be here. You see, sometimes you enter certain websites and you see the side, the menu is like not fixed below. Even that you can do it with. Let me go to. Actually, there is a way for you to remove the side menu, but I don't recall exactly where you could find that. It's somewhere here, somewhere in this part, yani. But for now, I'm gonna show you how to fix this below. Let me go to post one. Yeah. I want to remove it so I can show you what exactly I mean. I think it's under header and navigation, secondary menu bar. No, not this one. Fixed navigation, header element. Let me remove the search bar. I can't find that. It's somewhere here. I don't, yeah, here. So I can, I'm not sure if this is even going to remove it. It's not going to remove it, I think. This is just removing whatever I add inside. Okay, just publish. Anyways, so I'm not going to explain that for now, if that's the case. And I wanted to show you how to fix the header on the bottom. Is it fine if I show you or if I give you the code without demonstrating how the footer goes on top? Is it okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you that. Usually what I would do because there are certain specific needs for every, or very certain specific details that a person wants to do on the website. So I would again select this container. This container is set for the main content. So you see the ID is main content. So I would select main content. Okay. And then I would guess it's an ID, so it will probably start with a hash, main dash content. And then you would, let me see here. I just want to test something. Not, I think it's height. Yeah, I think it's min height. I am unable to add. Okay, so min dash height. Yeah, this is how it is. And I would set it to full width of the website. Yeah, this is how you do it. So why I said min width, so that, for example, if I added height and I set it to take the entire, for the main content to take the entire width of the page, if I do that, what's going to happen is that if I have a page where people can scroll down, they actually can't scroll down because I set this to be the height. But now here, what I'm saying is that I want to set the minimum height of the page of the website to always be 100 VH, starting from this point to whatever is available. And yeah, I wanted to show you before, but I forgot how to change the color of this one. Let's say you want to change the color of the menu bar to be, let me just see, it's mobile_menu_bar. It's a class, so classes usually start with dots. It's good to have an understanding of, and again, because there's before, I'm going to add it. And this is it. So it's probably going to be, let me just check if it's going to be color or background color. I'm not sure whether it's to change it as color. Yeah, so it's color, and I've changed it to black. And once I click on it, this is still blue. So again, you can select. This is how you change certain things in your website. I select and I see what's the class or the ID for this. I can either use the ID or the class because this has both. So for example, let me use the class here. So it's @mobile_menu. And again, this is, I don't think it's color. Let me just see. No, it's not. I think it would be something. Let me see. This is it. Yeah. See, okay. So how did I actually get to that? If I see if I see this class or this ID, I would see they have a bolded top, and I would see this blue color. It's probably this blue color that actually I want to target. So what I would do is take this. If you are not a developer, or you are a developer, we all get into certain things, and I would change it to black, let's say, and I have it changed. And now what happens? This is done. I publish, and it's saved. Okay, do you have any questions? How can add button when click go from home page to another page? Oh, so that's all inside the theme. Let me try to play around with the theme. I'm not sure actually what I should like look into more now. I can show you how to, let's say, change certain things in the website. I'll change from, or let me go from the gallery page I created, which is empty. I would enable Visual Builder. I would build from scratch. Okay, so let's say you wanted to add a button. You can add it here. And then you can customize it and change the styles of it with everything here. You can change, let's say, click here to anything. Okay, so click here again, whatever it may be, just you can change it, and you can change the, let's say, the alignment to be in here, and you can change the color, you can change everything here. But what I actually wanted to show you is the link. The link. So for example, you have a link inside the website and you want to link to something else on the website. It's better that you don't type the link here directly, and then you type the link of whatever other page that you have on the website. It's better to use the link that WordPress has. So for example, later on, I decide to change my link from wordpress.com/gallery to wordpress.com/gallery2. If I change it from gallery to gallery2, it will crash here. So I need to come and update it here. If I have it set explicitly to whatever I want it to be. But if I come here and I change, let's say, and I select this to be, let's say, post 1, and then I go and I change the link of post 1, it's dynamically going to change here. Okay, and I think we're past time. I'm not sure what else I can add. I want to make sure hosting providers like some. So each hosting provider has a way to purchase a domain name. You can purchase a domain name from anywhere and link it, which requires, again, some technical background on how to connect both of it. So it's usually better to purchase a domain name and a hosting at the same time from one hosting provider rather than purchasing it from two different places, because you're going to have some hard time connecting it and have the network and DNS, all these things set up. So I'm not sure, honestly, because we're past time, if I can add or add certain things. But do you have any questions that I can help you with?
I think did we reach like at the end of this workshop, right? We can answer your questions.
I almost reached to the end. I can explain from here to, like, it's not ending, because Divi has a lot of things to offer. Yeah. But I don't want to go in depth about Divi specifically, because people might actually not get it and might actually not use it, because each theme requires a new learning experience or usage. Each theme is different, but the main idea of posts, plugins, themes has to be clear in order to understand certain specific details.
Yeah,
that's the main idea of the workshop.
Awesome.
And I think that I've covered that. I'm not sure if someone wants me to repeat something or explain additional things.
All right. Okay. Let's take questions from the audience. If you have any questions, you can put it in the Q&A section or in the chat. That's fine. While we're getting on that, I'm gonna share the form for the certificate link.
Sorry to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So when you write your names and submit the form, we can later on send you the certificate and the resources of this workshop,
including access to Divi for 5 days.
Yes, exactly. Sorry. That would be great. Yeah, I like Divi. It has a responsive. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I really like, and it's really responsive. You can actually add things, and Yani, for example, you want to show something on your mobile, but you don't want to show it on your website.
Yeah.
You can literally do all of that inside Divi. And it has a great documentation.
That's great. I think I'll use that to my project.
Yeah. Definitely look into it.
Yeah.
I like it. I've been using it for quite a while.
Awesome.
Any questions? What did you gain from the workshop if you don't have any questions? Was it informational? I have yes, it's the storage. Remember here I actually explained where it's here. It's a storage for your all your website files. So when you're actually building when you're building your website with drag and drop, it's not actually drag and drop. It's all PHP code and whatever code the theme builder is using. It's all code and it's stored inside the server. I won't get a lot into details, but everything is stored in the server. And if you want to have a backup to it, when you download it, you're going to see all code. Does this answer your question? Actually, I didn't answer the GoDaddy question. I have used GoDaddy for a lot of different websites, and it's really good even in terms of performance, because each hosting provider has its own way. The speed of the website, that's all dependent on your hosting provider, as well as the certain things that you add in your website. So make sure to choose a good theme, because if the person who actually built the theme that you are using built it with a lot of unnecessary code added, it's going to slow your website. So that is really important for you to research and not just use any theme or any template. What I like about Divi is that it has its theme and it has its template, and you can add anything you want inside it. Yeah, so any updates should be in the host. What do you mean by any updates? Do you mean WordPress updates inside your website? So anything you update inside your website is going to be it's going to be on your server, unless you are planning to work on WordPress locally on your machine before actually even getting a domain or a hosting provider. Everything is going to be on your server, which is on your hosting provider, whether it's GoDaddy, SiteGround, Pagely, or whatever you're using. Does anyone have any other questions? I'm glad you did. I really am glad. So I'm just going to stop sharing, but everyone can continue asking their questions.
Thank you, Seham, for your insights. Yeah, I learned a lot for this workshop, and also especially the advantages and disadvantages of what you mentioned, and also looking into the client's needs for their dashboard and how to easy to remove and add things. That's really amazing. It's really useful. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Please.
And I'm really glad that it was informational.
Yeah, it is. It is, and we had a really interactive workshop today.
Yeah.
Yes. Please don't forget to submit the form. I mean,
yeah. So Sumaya is asking if we will be receiving the content on our emails. Yes, if you complete the link that Sheikha provided, you're going to receive including the 5-day access, which is important. Actually, it's no, I'm not going to get there.
Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today. Just a quick reminder. We're going to have another event tomorrow, which is I Am Remarkable, that will be presented by Shuruq at 7:30, same time. Great.
And I highly encourage everyone to join I Am Remarkable. I've joined it several times and it was really good.
Same, exactly. I think I have the event. Let me share the event link for tomorrow's. Just a quick reminder.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. All right. So we will be ending now.
Okay, sure.
Great.
Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day.
And take care.
Yeah. See you.
I'm going to be here until the end. So if anyone has any question or anything.
Awesome. I think I'll stop recording and have your questions. Sure. Okay.